All right, what's up, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We're going to be taking a look at a few stocks, okay, that I think we've been seeing a rotation into, and some stocks that we could possibly see a rotation into for the rest of 2022. Right? They're all going to be kind of travel related, a little bit of anti-pandemic, okay, pre-pandemic plays, right? Things that were pretty much kind of the opposite of what you were looking for in the pandemic, right? They're not really pandemic stocks like Zoom or something. We're going to be looking at right now we have six pulled up. SIX, okay, this is Six Flags Entertainment. We're going to look at Play, which is Dave and Buster's. So these are some stocks that are going to be having a positive reaction off possibly COVID ending and things like those, things opening back up more. Okay, we're going to look at a couple cruise lines and also some hotel stocks. So if you find any valuable information in this video, or you have any viewer requests, okay, because I also do viewer requests every single week on stocks, sectors, cryptos, anything like that, leave me a comment down below. I'll be happy to do that for you. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so we're looking at the monthly charts in this video, and I'm just going to show you guys a couple monthly patterns. Okay, so Six Flags here. If we look, we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders going on. Okay, we have our left shoulder right here, we have our head, and then we have our right shoulder. Okay, and so we're facing this trend line right here. Is kind of going to be our neckline. Okay, we can zoom in a little bit to the weekly chart to get a better sense of this trend line. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. This is a setup that we're looking at, and things are looking pretty interesting. Okay, we're going to go back to the monthly chart here, just so you guys can get a better sense of the big time frame for a lot of these stocks. But volume picked up a lot, all right, when we had the COVID crash, and the volume has died off, but things have been looking pretty interesting. Okay, we had a very nice bullish recovery, and then now we've kind of been in this accumulation period. Okay, so we're at a make or break point for a lot of these stocks that we're going to be looking at, and we're going to be trying to determine, all right, well, hey, are these stocks about to have a breakout to the upside, or are they going to sit in their accumulation zone and possibly drop further and lower because valuations and expectations are dropping? Okay, so six is the first one we're looking at, SIX. We'll hop into Play. Okay, and this one is Dave and Buster's. Again, on the monthly chart, things are looking pretty good. Okay, I can draw the same pattern here. We have a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders. All right, left shoulder, right shoulder, head right here. We're showing signs of a breakout on this one. Okay, things are pulling back on this last monthly candle, but this month has not finished, the month of April, so we still have yet to see exactly where this monthly candle is going to close. Let's look at another one, the Royal Caribbean. Okay, so this is our COVID crash here. This is our bullish recovery. All right, and now we've just been in this accumulation zone. All right, we're holding the 20 simple moving average currently on the monthly chart, and we're facing resistance right here at the 100 and the 50. So as soon as this 20 moving average crosses the 100 and the 50 simple moving average, we'll be in a nice uptrend, and we could potentially see a breakout, right? Like if we look at from here to here, let's just say that this is our bull flag. Okay, so here's our run up, here's our consolidation phase. Let's just draw a little channel here, all right, for the bull flag. And here's our bearish channel. And then if we do get a breakout, let's say a bullish breakout on the cruise lines, okay, this could Royal Caribbean, for instance, has the potential to go back up here to 135. And if we look, that is the all-time high on it, and these are the highs that we kept climbing towards before COVID, right? So obviously Corona 19 or the coronavirus, COVID-19 had a very big impact on the world, and especially a lot of stocks, and we could finally see the recovery out of those, and we may see some bullishness into towards a future outlook, right, where we're now prepared for things like this. We know how to handle the pandemic a little bit more. One thing I do want to mention about the cruise lines is gas and oil prices are really high right now. So if we do see a drop in those prices, that could have a nice positive impact on these, okay, because they're pricing in the high oil and fuel prices, and if things get to go lower, right, then they'll be able to do a little bit better than they were had anticipated, right? Because they're planning on really high prices. So that's RCL, that's Royal Caribbean. We can take a look here at NCLH. This is Norwegian Cruise Lines. Kind of the same thing. Okay, you have your bullish recovery after COVID, and then it's been more of a downtrend on this one, but it's still some nice accumulation going on. If we zoom into the daily chart, there was a daily gap down that needed to be filled, and that gap ended up being filled. And so we can go ahead and see why maybe we had a pullback, right? If I go ahead and extend this to the year 2023, you guys can see here, this is what's known as the daily gap. If you watch my videos, these fill, I always like to mention, these fill 90 to 95% of the time historically in the stock market. Okay. So here we have our crash, we enter the gap, and if we fast forward more in the future, okay, we come back down and we fill this gap completely. All right. Now we have the same pattern that we've kind of been looking at on a few different stocks, but on the monthly chart here, we also have an inverse head and shoulders. Okay. Here's our left shoulder. Here's our head down here. Here's our right shoulder. And, these are forming. Okay. So they're not, confirmed and validated yet, but we could be seeing a breakout off of, a lot of these inverse head and shoulders patterns. CCL is another one that I like a lot. All right. If we look, and we'll go back to the monthly chart just so you guys can start and, see it on the monthly, and then I'll zoom into the daily here. But, essentially here's our COVID crash. All right. And same thing, we have a nice bullish recovery from 7.8 all the way up to $31. And then we start to, pull back a little bit. Right now, I'm going to actually show you guys the weekly chart. And this is what I'm looking for on the weekly chart. All right. We've been squeezing super, super hard on CCL, and you were right at the make or break point. Okay. This is what's known as a symmetrical triangle, this chart pattern here. All right. That we're looking at. And this is, can send us up or down. Okay. It's not bullish or bearish. This is a unbiased pattern. And essentially we're going to look to see if we catch a breakout up here into our supply zone, or if we're going to get a breakdown into our demand zone down here. Right. So, that's one thing that I'm looking for on CCL. It definitely does have the potential to drop all the way back down to 13, possibly $8. But if we do see a breakout and we have a really nice summer, we could see this breakout up into back into the 30s, right? Which that would be really juicy. It also does have a nice gap up to fill all the way up to $40 on CCL. Delta Airlines. Okay. So we'll look at the airlines. The airlines are also another one. Okay. We're speaking of travel, we're speaking of hotels, cruises, things like this. A lot of the stocks that got negatively impacted during COVID. And if you look, here's their massive COVID drop. Here's our bullish recovery rally. And, we kind of have the same thing going on with a lot of these. Okay. We have a little bit of a bull flag forming. And essentially what we're doing is we're looking to see if we're going to be able to get a nice bull flag breakout. Okay. Because here would be our bull flag. Here's your uptrend. And then here's your downtrend right to the side. And then what you would do is duplicate this drawing, and you'd look for a breakout along the bottom of this trend line towards the top of this trend line. And if you look here, it actually would take us up to the previous highs right around 63, which is similar to some of the other stocks that we've been looking at, right? So this is what I mean. This is why I'm charting these up and showing you to these, a lot of these to you is for these reasons, okay? So that's Delta Airlines, DAL. We have AAL, American Airlines. And, I have this one broken down a little bit more currently on the chart, but you can look here. Here's our COVID lows, and same thing. We have a nice bullish recovery. Things are starting to pull back. We're accumulating, and Delta Airlines has been, performing, pretty well here in the past 3 months. Went all hit lows of 12.6, and then we recently hit highs of 21. So you got to think that's almost, about 70, 80% recovery right there that it had in the past 2 months. Let's go ahead and look here. Yeah. So what was that? About 73% rally right there. So that was pretty impressive. We have MGM, okay, which is another one you're going to want to be looking at. And just look at this one on the gradual thing, okay? It had this very, very big collapse. And then this thing has just kind of been a steady uptrend, okay? Here's COVID right here. Here's the COVID drop. And if you look, this one has performed much, much better, right, than some of the cruise lines and some of the airlines that we've looked at, where they had the rally up and then they had the downtrend, the bearish channel. This one has been holding its own pretty well. Okay, it's holding the 20 moving average right now. It's found support along there twice, and it's pulling back there. So we're gonna see if it can maintain this as a support level and keep going up higher, or what it's gonna do. All right. But in terms of like getting back to all-time highs, there's so much room for growth in MGM. So things don't look too bad. All right. MAR is another one. This is Marriott. Okay. Now Marriott has been performing very, very well, as well. Okay. If we look at the COVID crash, we come down. And we look at our rally from here, from the COVID lows up to, in the last month, we had the highs of 195. It's 250%. Okay. So just bringing a lot of these stocks on your radar, because I want you to kind of understand, maybe where the market is rotating into, where it could rotate into, right? If COVID continues to not be as much of a big concern, right? Ever since the whole Russia-Ukraine crisis, we really haven't heard much about COVID at all. And so we may continue to see money flow into these sectors, okay, like hotel stocks, right? Travel related stocks, airlines, cruise lines, amusement parks, okay, like Six Flags, even smaller, on a smaller scale, not necessarily an amusement park, but just a place like Dave and Buster's, ticker symbol PLAY, right? We looked at that one earlier. And this is just a place where people are going to go, and they're going to have fun, and there's not going to be as much restrictions, okay, ever since COVID, right? If we look, it looks really, really, juicy right here. And the fact that we could be having an inverse head and shoulders breakout. Now, if we do get a breakout on this one, I mean, it could take us all the way up to here. So go ahead and duplicate this drawing, and we put this back down right around here. Okay. We could head up to 69, 70 bucks again on Dave and Buster's. So again, none of this is financial advice, just trying to put some stocks on your watch list that you need to pay attention to, and try to realize, okay, hey, well, when the stock market is in a downtrend for the past month, what have these stocks done in the past month? And if you look, it seems to me like there's been a lot of accumulation, and like a lot of these are ready to potentially start an uptrend. It just determines, okay, we can't tell the future, but what we can do is try to prepare ourselves and try to prepare for possible scenarios or sectors that may have a bullish run. All right, so thanks again for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what stocks you're looking at, okay, whether it's stocks, cryptos, anything like that. I do viewer requests every single week, again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So let me know in the comments below what stocks you're looking at, and I'll chart it up for you as soon as I can. Okay.